Hi, I'm Sandy with Lightning Tools, and I'm here again with Brett. How are you?
Yeah, doing really well. Thank you, Sandy. Yeah, it's
Good.
been busy, but
Oh, that's
yeah,
good. Busy is always
absolutely.
good.
It is indeed. Yeah, it keeps us out of mischief.
That's right. Yeah. Yep. Same on this side.
Yeah, so how's things going down in Florida?
Getting warmer.
Wish I could say
Um,
the same.
yep, yep. But yeah, good. Getting stranger a little bit, but that's another conversation.
Yeah, maybe not one for this, but
Right.
yeah, absolutely. Politics.
Right.
But yeah, good. So, well, it's been a busy time this side of the pond. So, well, at Lightning Tools especially. So, I think it's coming into conference season,
Mm-hmm.
which I think that'd be probably a great place to start talking. And
Sure.
I know we're both going to be presenting and sponsoring at the European Collaboration Summit. So that's coming up in Dusseldorf in May.
Right. Can't
Um,
wait. Mhm.
yeah, always a fantastic event. Addis and his team, they just kind of guy who thinks of everything. He's just absolutely nails it. So it's just yeah, tremendous event to go to. And if you can get there, I really really would.
Mhm. I
It'd
hear
be
it's
worth every
almost
single
sold
penny.
out.
Yes, you better be quick.
Yes.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yep.
But they've got a big team from Microsoft going there.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's about 30 speakers just from Microsoft,
Mm.
and then of course you've got a lot of MVPs and so on
Mm-hmm.
as well, including yourself and I.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what
What are you
what is it?
talking about, Brett?
I was just about to throw that out to you, so go on, you first.
Oh, all right. Yes, my session there is on automated notifications in Teams. So mainly having to do with interaction of Power Automate and Teams and how to get and give, I guess, generate different automations for different types of things. And we kind of go from the most basic to more and more complex and using adaptive cards and things like that in the end. So yeah, it should be good.
Nice. That sounds great. Fantastic. And yeah, adaptive cards I think will come up again in conversation shortly. But yeah, so mine is on Viva. But
Mm.
rather than Viva's a huge subject now
Mhm.
to cover in just a sort of. Did we get an hour? I've not even
Right.
checked yet, but
Right. That's like
maybe
giving a
50 minutes
topic
or an
on
hour or something.
SharePoint.
Yeah, it's pretty challenging one, but I'm not actually just going to do a tour of it. It's going to be really a story, and that's going to be based around our experience of Viva at Lightning Tools and how we've used that to really sort of get the company culture working really really well, which yeah, it's really helped be part of that, and it
Mhm.
is just part of it. Yeah, there's a lot of things that we've done through coaching and so on, and employee development meetings and creating smart goals and so on. But yeah, Viva has really helped leverage it.
Mhm.
So that's the sort of thing that I'll be talking about. So it's not just a case of this is Viva topics, this is Viva insights, etc. It's going to be just a case of how we've used it, and it'll be yeah, a good sort of case study presentation, I think, of how it could be used for an ISV.
Nice. I
Um,
think that's all. I think case studies are always especially useful for people because that's real life, not just Microsoft marketing. Not that
yeah,
there's
yeah.
anything wrong with Microsoft marketing, but
No, we love that. So yeah, that's my topic. You're talking again at Thrive, which is
yep, the
in
following
in
week.
Slovenia, yeah, and I'm very very jealous. Unfortunately, I can't be there. I was going to be speaking, and I had to drop out. So yeah, it's my father-in-law's 80th birthday,
Uh,
and so we're going to basically be swapping. You're going to be over in Europe, and I'm going to be in Florida. Um, so yeah, I'll be on a cruise ship somewhere celebrating an 80th birthday party. But you'll be in Slovenia, which is absolutely beautiful.
yeah, you've been there before and several times, right?
I think there's a lot of Slovenia that I've seen now,
Mm.
but Branka and her team, they always come up with some surprises whenever you visit. So yeah, the first year we went, we were right on the very coast, so
Mm.
nice little coastal town, and then they've moved the event around to
Mm.
I think the
Yeah, that's
second time
awesome
was
how she does that.
yeah, I think it's I forget the name of the town now, but there was a lovely rural town, and then yeah, they've moved it around to 4 or 5 different places. But you don't just stay in the hotel. The speakers get invited out to different day trips around like Lake Bled and places like that, and it's just absolutely stunning. Really, really nice. All of the scene. I've not seen a bad thing in Slovenia. It's just a beautiful place to be.
It is.
The conference itself, it's just wonderful the way that Branka organizes it. So she organizes this primarily for her customers. So all of the customers from Slovenia who don't usually get out and about at different events will come to Thrive, and they'll learn from, again, lots of MVPs and speakers and so on. But also she extends that invitation to yeah, anybody that wants to go, and I'd really highly recommend going.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's not an expensive conference to get to,
Right.
so
Right.
if your budget won't reach to things like Microsoft 365 um, in Vegas,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, forget the name of that event, but yeah, that what was the sort of SharePoint conference.
Right. Right.
So if you can't get to that one,
Right.
then either the summit or Thrive would be some very good options to see. Actually, probably the same speakers,
Mm-hmm. Right.
and
Right.
also some good content as well.
Right. I know that was one of the, well, I believe that was one of the reasons for scheduling Thrive when it is, so that US speakers in particular who are coming for the one conference will can do the other one, well, like I'm doing.
Yeah,
And it is a smaller conference, but the Thrive conference is, but I think it's got a different vibe then. I mean, I spoke at it last year for the first time, and um, it's more intimate, I guess I would
hmm
say. The class size, so to speak, is smaller, so you get real interaction with the speakers, and then everybody is just sort of hanging out together, and so the attendees can really readily interact with the speakers that and ask them questions, and we as speakers all love to do that. Really, we're, I would
yeah,
say, all to a person, very friendly and happy to talk to people and continue to talk about our technical topics.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. In fact, I've heard that um, from a couple of people that yeah, Microsoft MVPs and so on, that they tend to be very clicky and not welcoming. You can just be in a group of people in a
Hmm.
restaurant or in a bar or something like that. That's absolutely not true. So
Yeah, yeah, that's
yeah,
not my
if
experience.
no, absolutely. If you went and joined that group of people, you would be welcomed with open arms, and yeah, we'd love to be talking to you. And I know I'm not just talking for myself and you. It's yeah, this is the case with almost every single Microsoft 365 speaker I know.
Hmm.
So
Hmm. Even the
yeah,
people from Microsoft, really.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, very open
Hmm.
and with will. But we
Yeah,
all
all
know each other,
community.
so we tend to hang out.
That's true. That's
So,
true. That's true.
but that doesn't mean that nobody else is welcome.
Yeah, so this year the conference, in the as we were saying about it moving around, this year it's in Lipica, which is right near the border of Italy. So actually, you can fly into Trieste, Italy, or to Ljubljana. The airports are not that far. They're kind of equidistant a little bit from Lipica. You still have to get there by car or something, I think.
Mhm.
But that's actually, I didn't know this until I learned more about it, but that's where the Lipizzaner stallions are from. That's
Okay.
why they're called that, because it's Lipica. And so as I understand it, the event venue is actually some sort of big hotel that's maybe part of that whole horse farm
Hmm.
thing. I'm not positive about that, but anyway, it sounds fascinating. And then I know that during on the speaker tour, we're going to be going to the coast, I believe, and then yeah, doing some. I don't know what all, but I'm sure it will be great. And I'm actually doing sessions on-prem. So
Hmm.
some, because there are still, I guess, a lot of people in that area. I mean, I guess all over the place, but maybe more so there than we find in the US, who are using SharePoint server. And so we don't want them to feel left behind or left out by all of the other sessions. But I've been working with SharePoint since 2007. I know not as long as you have, but so I do have a fair bit of experience with SharePoint Server as well. So I am delivering sessions on that. One is
Fantastic.
about things that you can do on SharePoint Server that are similar or comparable to things you can do in SharePoint Online. And then one is about content aggregation on various ways of content aggregating content on SharePoint on-prem. Mhm.
That's nice,
Mhm.
fantastic. Yeah, it'd be great to see.
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember, when we all started looking at SharePoint Online and adapting our products and so on, it kind of felt like we were going backwards.
Mhm.
There's all these things that you can't do in SharePoint Online, and
Right,
it's
that's right. It's kind of
so
the
the
other
other
way.
way now.
Yep. Yep.
Absolutely. So that'd be a good story to tell. Wonderful. That sounds great. And actually, it's SharePoint's birthday today, so it's
Oh, I
22.
didn't remember that. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So happy birthday, SharePoint. So yeah, it's difficult to imagine it's 22 years old. Done a lot in that time.
Mhm. Yeah.
But
It's about ready to move out of the house by now, I would think.
yeah, I think so. Start drinking and well, in England it would be
Right.
it'd have been drinking for a few years now, but yeah.
Right. I feel like it has been drinking for many years.
Well, yeah, SharePoint was
Right.
born almost as quickly as SharePoint. So
Right. Right.
there we go. So um, besides all of that, I know we've got a new product coming out next month, and we'll talk
Yeah.
more about that, or at least a new release of an existing product. So that's a new release of Social Squared. But I think actually it's good to talk about something that's not product related
Mm,
in this session. So we've mentioned the conferences that we're going to, and there's going to be other ones as well later on in the year, including the event that Lightning Tools helps organize, and that's the Collab Days,
mm,
which is going to be held at the National Museum of Computing again. That's on September the 27th. If you would like to sponsor, we'd really like to welcome you to that event. And what is different here is the money from the sponsorship isn't just going to um, cover the costs of a hotel or a conference or a conference center. It's actually going as a donation to the museum. So that's all of the money that's raised through sponsorship goes to the museum, and there's all sorts of amazing things that they do at that
mm,
museum that help your children learn IT, help young adults in with autism to find careers in IT. There's just some wonderful stories from things that they've done with
mm.
donations, and that's how we help contribute towards that.
Great.
So yeah, we're looking for sponsors, speakers as well, and of course attendees, and that's a free to attend event. And we'll also be at ESPC later on in the year as well.
Mm. And
So
Comsverse, I think, also.
and Comsverse, yeah, how could I miss that one out? So yeah, we're actually sponsoring the Viva track,
Mm,
and yeah, we'll be there as an exhibitor too. So
mm. And that's
yeah,
in the UK, right?
it is. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's actually at the Mercedes testing ground, which is
Ah.
great. You see the Mercedes Formula One cars, which it's kind of like whatever, of course. But yeah, no, our booth last year was yeah within maybe 30 feet from about 5 different Lewis Hamilton Formula One Mercedes
Ah.
cars. So yeah, couldn't have gone better for a Lightning Tools booth, that's for sure.
Yeah, awesome.
But, there we go. So we've also been working on becoming ISO certified as
Mm,
well. So this is something that we're very deep in at the moment. We've gone through a
mhm,
lot of consulting, and yeah, it's been a really interesting journey. There's a lot of things that we did anyway,
mm,
but it's all about documenting a
mm.
lot of those processes and what have you. So um, yeah,
Do
I
you want
think
to talk a
it's
little bit
great.
about the reason or the purpose of that?
Yeah. So the our company, Lightning Tools, is now 16 years old, and one of the things that we're seeing a lot of that's changing in the industry, of course, there was things like the introduction of GDPR and a lot of similar things around data. And of course, there was a Data Protection Act and so on before that too. Um, but it's got a lot of people concerned, quite rightly, about where your data resides. And following on from the Microsoft 365 or Office 365 cloud, when we're developing products that sit in that environment, there's questions that come up about where is the data residing and what are we doing with their data and so on and so forth. Now, that question has actually been quite easy to answer because we're in a fortunate position where none of our products actually are a service provider as
Right.
such. So the data is actually stored inside the Microsoft 365 tenant in your Microsoft 365
Right.
tenant. So that's protected by your authorization and your permissions and so on that you put into place, and you own all of that. But um, one of the challenges is that when a new customer comes to us and their initial question, they're assuming that we're a service provider, and one of the first questions is, are you ISO 27001 certified? And of course, if you check that no box, it's like, I don't know, just these questions just out of nowhere.
Right.
And yeah, you can spend a day
Yeah.
answering some surveys about what we're doing with all this data, and sometimes these questions are like yes or no answers, and there's not a this is not applicable.
Mm.
So you're like, I'm thinking no, but it's not really no, it's just not really relevant.
Right. Right.
Which is a shame. So
Mm.
we decided as a company that we're going to go down that route. So we've decided to become ISO 27001 certified and ISO 9001. So nothing is really going to change about your data in terms of our software products, but it is going to change in terms of your data as a company that's shared with us. Just we're making sure that we're doing everything that we should be doing as a company, which pretty much we were doing anyway. There's been some nice fine tuning and so on, like I
Mm.
said, with the processes and what have
Mm.
you. But yeah, it's just really documenting a lot of common sense stuff, really, about data being on a mobile phone, and what do you do with that mobile phone? What do you do with a laptop? Do you lock your laptop when you walk away? So all of this is having to be built into information security policies. We've got to have nominated people that are data protection officers, and we've got to have a committee around information security and so on. So all of that is just being ironed out and proven. And like I say, it's things that would happen anyway. I think Lightning Tools, everybody's been very careful with company data. We did actually go through GDPR training when GDPR came out, and we've been GDPR aware, I should say, since then as
And
well. We're
compliant.
registered with the ISO and compliant. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. So as far as that's concerned, not a great deal is actually changing, but we do get the certification to say we are ISO
Mm.
certified. So that's going to mean a lot
Mhm.
to us, and hopefully save me some time in filling out
Right.
forms as well as a
Right.
sideline.
Right. It should stop those questions from spewing out
Yeah,
because
yeah,
there's just the
exactly.
one.
Yeah, well, there'll probably be a few more,
Well,
but
well,
at
yes,
least we
but
can. Yeah.
yeah.
w-
And that kind of just the act of going through that kind of process helps the company become better as well. I know I found that in my former business too when we were seeking certification on in our industry. Uh, Even though, as you say, we were doing most of those things anyway, but the process of thinking through the process and getting it all written down, and then you have things to train newcomers on, and all of that makes you a better company overall.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think yeah, it like I said, it doesn't change too much in terms of your everyday, but it does create that awareness as well, and makes sure that
Hmm.
everybody has received the training and so on.
Hmm.
Yeah, around yeah security of data and so on. So yeah, it makes a great deal of sense, and it covers us a lot more as well as not just our customers,
Hmm.
but it's our data that's shared outside as
Right.
well. So um, it's as a small company, when we onboard vendors ourselves, um, you know that I guess that's one of the areas that was a bit of a blind spot is do we go through the same questionnaires ourselves with
Mm.
our customers? But actually, when you look at who our customers are, um, our vendors
Our
are, one of
vendors.
our
Mm.
biggest vendors is Microsoft. It's like, well, yeah, they are checking all those boxes, and HubSpot is our CRM tool, so they're already ISO 27001
Mm.
certified and so on too. But we will now be doing the same thing with our vendors as what
Hmm. Hmm.
people do with us, and it just makes a lot of sense to make sure that
Hmm.
we do cover that off.
Hmm. Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah,
And
fantastic.
when do we expect that that will be in place?
Yeah, well, hopefully it'll be by the end of April. We
Mm,
will be ISO 9001, which is the quality certification, and then also the information management security certification 27001 as well at
awesome.
the same time. So yeah, it should be
Great.
great.
Okay.
Fantastic. So yeah, next week I think we'll talk about Social Squared. There's
Yes.
some
Yes.
exciting things that follow on from yeah, the news with Microsoft over the last couple of weeks and
Hmm.
AI and so on. So
Oh,
excited to share some of those
yep.
with everybody that
Yep.
follows us on this.
Sounds good. All right. Thanks a lot. And I'll see you next week.
Sounds good. All
All
right.
right.
Take
Okay.
care, Sandy.
Bye.
Bye bye.